Comfort is the silent killer of your potential. It doesn't show up with warning signs. It doesn't announce itself. It creeps in quietly, disguising itself as rest, a break. I deserve it. I'll start tomorrow. And before you even realize what happened, comfort steals your ambition, your drive, your hunger, your future. Most teenagers don't fail because they're not capable. They fail because they're addicted to comfort. And like every addiction, it feels good in the moment but destroys you in the long run. Every time you choose comfort, you choose weakness. You choose the easy road. You choose the version of yourself that stays stuck, average, invisible. You don't grow inside your comfort zone. You don't get smarter. You don't get tougher. You don't get stronger. You just get comfortable, and comfortable people become forgettable people. You want a different life. You want to be powerful, you want to stand out, then understand this right now. Comfort is the enemy of everything you want to become. Look around you. The people who win, really win, aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who walked through discomfort on purpose. While everyone else slept in, they woke up earlier. While everyone else avoided the hard work, they leaned into it. While everyone else complained, they executed. They built habits that hurt in the beginning but paid off forever. Most teenagers choose the wrong pain. They choose the pain of regret instead of the pain of growth. Regret is slow. Regret is quiet. Regret doesn't hit you today. It hits you years later when it's too late to fix what you avoided. Growth hurts now, but it pays you later. Comfort feels good now, but it bankrupts you later. Ask yourself right now, how much of what you do every day is designed to make you comfortable, not better? Scrolling for hours, sleeping in, avoiding tough conversations, skipping workouts, putting schoolwork off because I don't feel like it, hiding from responsibility because I'm too tired. Every one of those small choices builds a weak version of you. And that weak version is the one that will meet the real world. The world doesn't care how tired you are. It doesn't care how stressed you are. It doesn't care how you feel. It rewards those who show up even when they don't feel like it. That's the difference between average and unstoppable. Unstoppable people don't wait to feel ready. They act, they move, they push, they take control. They understand that every time they step into discomfort, they take one step closer to the strongest version of themselves. If you want to live a life that teenagers dream of, then you need to get uncomfortable on purpose. You need to push yourself into situations that challenge you. Wake up earlier than you want. Work harder than you think you can. Study when you're tired. Train when you're unmotivated. Do the uncomfortable things because those are the things that build character. Your generation is drowning in comfort. You have everything at your fingertips: information, entertainment, technology, shortcuts. But none of that replaces the one thing success requires: discipline, hard work, consistency, the willingness to suffer for something bigger than the moment. Comfort will tell you, relax. Discomfort will tell you, rise. Comfort will say, you have time. Discomfort will say, your time is running. Comfort will whisper, you're fine as you are. Discomfort will scream, you can be more. Your future self is watching you right now. They're begging you to stop choosing what feels good today and start choosing what builds you for tomorrow. Comfort is the enemy, discomfort is the path, and greatness is on the other side of that path, waiting for the version of you that refuses to take the easy way out. You've been lied to your whole life. People keep telling you that talent is everything, that some people are just born special, that some people have something you don't, and because of that lie, you've convinced yourself that you're limited, that you can't rise, that you don't have what it takes. But here's the truth most people aren't ready to hear. Talent is overrated, and discipline destroys talent every single day of the week. Talent is the spark, discipline is the fire, and the fire always wins. The world is full of talented people who never did anything with their talent. You know why? Because talent makes people comfortable. They think being good at something is enough. They think natural ability will carry them through life. It won't. It never has. The most dangerous thing you can do as a teenager is rely on the things you're naturally good at, because talent can fool you. Talent can make you lazy. Talent can make you think you don't have to try. But discipline doesn't lie. Discipline exposes who you really are. You don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your habits. Everyone wants an amazing future, but not everyone is willing to build the habits that future requires. Waking up early, studying when it's boring, training when you're tired, saying no to distractions, holding yourself accountable, these are not talented actions. They are disciplined actions, and that's why most people don't do them. Discipline is uncomfortable, and that's why it works. It forces you to push when you don't feel like pushing. It forces you to work when your mind is screaming for rest. Talent quits when things get hard. Discipline keeps going. Talent needs motivation. Discipline doesn't care. Discipline shows up every day whether you feel like it or not. If you understand this as a teenager, you are already ahead of 99% of people your age. Look around you, look at your friends, pay attention to how they operate. Most of them rely on mood, energy, and convenience. If they feel motivated, they'll work. If they're in the mood, they'll try. But if they're tired, if they're distracted, if Netflix drops a new episode or their phone lights up, they fold, they fall, they disappear into comfort, and then they wonder years later why some people succeeded and they didn't. It's simple. The disciplined kid beat them. Discipline doesn't require you to be the smartest. It doesn't require you to be the strongest. It doesn't require you to be the fastest. It only requires one thing: show up and do the work. That's it. Show up when you're tired. Show up when you don't feel like it. Show up when you're stressed. Show up when your excuses feel louder than your ambition. Most teenagers wait for motivation. They wait for the right mood. They wait for inspiration. But winners don't wait. They act. Motivation fades, mood changes, inspiration comes and goes. But discipline is a weapon. Use it and you become unstoppable. Ignore it and you become average. Your life is being built right now through your daily habits, not your dreams, not your talents, your habits. The things you do repeatedly become the person you are. So ask yourself, are your habits building a strong version of you? Or a weak one, a focused version of you? Or a distracted one, a disciplined version of you? Or a comfortable one? Every time you choose discipline, you take one step closer to greatness. Every time you choose excuses, you take one step closer to regret. Talent gives you potential. Discipline turns that potential into results. And here's the final truth. A disciplined teenager will outrun a talented teenager every single time. Because talent might start the race fast, but discipline always finishes it. Your mind is the most powerful weapon you have, but it's also the biggest liar you'll ever meet. It tells you you're tired when you still have fuel in the tank. It tells you you're done when you've barely started. It tells you something is impossible just because it's uncomfortable. And the crazy part, most teenagers believe every word their mind tells them. They trust the voice in their head more than their own potential. That's why they fail. Your mind's job is survival, not success. It's programmed to avoid pain, avoid stress, avoid effort, avoid discomfort. It works like a protective parent telling you, don't push yourself, don't take risks, stay safe. But greatness doesn't live in the safe zone. It lives in the places your mind tries to pull you away from. The truth is brutal. Your mind is lying to you because it wants you comfortable, but comfort is the enemy of strength. Think about the last time you wanted to start something meaningful: studying, working out, waking up early, learning a skill. The moment you tried, that voice appeared. Not right now. I'll do it later. I'm too tired. I'm not good enough. What if I fail? That voice isn't truth. It's fear pretending to be logic. It's weakness pretending to be wisdom. It's your mind trying to protect you from effort, but here's what people don't realize. The mind doesn't care if it ruins your life long term, as long as you feel safe right now. That temporary relief you feel when you quit. That little breath of comfort when you procrastinate, that's your mind winning, and every time you give in, you train yourself to lose. You're not born weak. You're trained to be weak by listening to that voice. When you push past your limits, when you force yourself to go a little further, when you ignore the excuses your mind throws at you, you unlock something most people never discover: your second wind. That deeper level, the stronger version of you, the version your mind tries to hide from you because it requires struggle to reach. Teenagers underestimate how capable they are because they never test themselves. They stop the moment things get uncomfortable. They stop at "I'm tired." They stop at "I've done enough." They stop at the first sign of resistance. But the truth is, your actual limits exist far beyond the point where you feel like quitting. Your mind thinks you're at 100% when you're really at 40%. Your mind protects the 60% like it's sacred territory. It doesn't want you to go there. It doesn't want you to discover the beast hiding inside you. Because once you meet that version of yourself, the version who pushes past the lies, you become unstoppable. You stop listening to excuses. You stop negotiating with laziness. You stop believing the voice that tries to hold you back. You become dangerous. Most people let their mind control them. Winners control their mind. They recognize the voice of weakness and reject it. They replace "I can't" with "watch me." They replace "I'm tired" with "good, keep going." They replace "I'll start tomorrow" with "I start now." You have to learn to talk back to your mind. You have to challenge it. You have to expose its lies. When it tells you to stop, do one more rep. When it tells you to rest, work 5 more minutes. When it tells you you're done, prove it wrong. You can train your mind the same way you train your muscles. The more resistance you give it, the stronger it becomes. Your mind's lies are only powerful when you accept them. Once you learn to question them, they lose control over you. And the moment you stop believing those lies is the moment you stop being average. Your mind will always try to limit you. Your job is simple. Don't listen. Push anyway, rise anyway, move anyway, because your mind may lie. But your actions can tell the truth about who you really are. Pain is the doorway to the version of yourself you keep dreaming about. You don't get strength without struggle. You don't build confidence without challenge. You don't shape character without pressure. Every teenager wants to become somebody, but almost none are willing to pay the price, and the price is pain. Not the pain that destroys you, the pain that builds you, the pain that shapes you, the pain that exposes your weaknesses so you can replace them with strength. You want to know why most people stay average their whole life? Because they run from pain like it's something to fear. They dodge challenges. They hide from discomfort. They choose the easy road because it gives them a quick hit of pleasure, a quick burst of relief. But every time you choose the easy road, you kill a piece of the person you could have become. Pain is unavoidable. Life will hit you. Life will test you. Life will break you down. But here's the difference between the weak and the strong. Weak people let pain define them. Strong people let pain refine them. Weak people ask, "Why me?" Strong people ask, "Try me." Teenagers today are trapped in a world where everything is designed to be easy: fast entertainment, shortcuts, instant gratification. You're taught to avoid anything uncomfortable, but the truth is this: the more you avoid pain now, the more pain you'll feel later. Pain isn't the enemy, pain is the teacher, pain is the training ground. Pain is the proof that you're growing. When you're working out and your muscles burn, that's not a signal to quit, that's growth. When you're studying and your brain feels exhausted, that's not a sign you're dumb, that's progress. When you're grinding on your goals and everything feels heavy, that's not a reason to stop. That's the moment your future self is being built. Pain is the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. Every strong person you admire, every successful person you look up to, every winner, every legend, every hyper-former, they didn't get there by choosing comfort. They got there by walking through pain when everyone else walked away. They got there by embracing struggle. They didn't fear pressure. They chased it because they knew something you haven't learned yet. Pain is the proof that you're on the right path. Growth doesn't happen when it's easy. Growth happens when you're uncomfortable. Growth happens when you're tested. Growth happens when you're pushed to the edge and you decide not to fall. You think your life is hard now. Good. That means you're being shaped. That means you're being forged. Diamonds don't form without pressure. Muscles don't grow without resistance. Champions don't rise without adversity. So when life gets painful, don't ask for it to stop. Ask for the strength to endure. Don't ask for things to get easier. Ask to become better. Don't hide from the things that hurt. lean into them, because the things that hurt you today will build you tomorrow. Pain builds resilience, pain builds courage, pain builds discipline, pain builds identity. Pain turns the boy into a man, the girl into a woman, the teenager into a warrior. But here's the truth that nobody tells you. Pain will break you if you don't decide how to use it. If you let pain turn into self-pity, you lose. If you let pain make you bitter, you lose. If you let pain convince you to quit, you lose. Pain by itself doesn't guarantee growth. You have to choose to grow from it. You have two options: use pain as fuel, or let it bury you. That's the difference between average and unstoppable. That's the difference between dreamers and doers. That's the difference between someone who wants a great life and someone who builds one. Pain is the price of becoming someone, and if you're not willing to pay that price, you'll spend your whole life becoming no one. There's a moment every teenager eventually faces, a moment when you finally understand that the world doesn't owe you anything. That moment is the beginning of your real life. Most people never reach it because they spend years waiting for help, waiting for motivation, waiting for someone to push them, waiting for someone to believe in them, waiting for someone to fix their problems. But here's the truth that almost nobody your age wants to accept. Nobody is coming to save you, not your parents, not your teachers, not your friends, not the government. Not luck, not someday. Your life is on you. Every victory, every failure, every choice, every consequence, every dream you chase or abandon, it all comes back to you. Teenagers often grow up with this illusion that there will always be someone to bail them out. Someone to remind them, someone to guide them, someone to force them to do the right thing. But the second you step out into the real world, that safety net disappears. Out there, nobody cares about your excuses. Nobody cares about your potential if you don't use it. Nobody cares what you could have done. The world responds to results, not intentions. This is why so many young people fall apart when things get difficult. They never learned how to stand on their own 2 feet. They never learned how to push themselves. They never learned how to be responsible for their own life. They were waiting for a rescue that was never coming. But if you can understand this now, while you're young, you gain a power most people never develop, the power of self-responsibility, the power to control your life instead of being controlled by it. When you stop waiting for someone to save you, you start saving yourself. You stop expecting things to be handed to you. You stop blaming people. You stop using your past as an excuse. You stop expecting fairness. You stop begging for validation. You stop looking for shortcuts, and you start building the person you were meant to become. Self-responsibility is brutal, but it's also liberating. When you realize nobody is coming to fix your life, that means nobody can stop you from fixing it either. You don't need permission to grow. You don't need approval to change. You don't need someone to choose you. You choose yourself. That's real freedom. Look at your life right now. Every time you procrastinate, every time you hide from responsibility, every time you complain, every time you wait for the right moment, you're giving away control. You're letting life happen to you instead of shaping it. You're handing your power to your excuses. Teenagers often think adulthood magically transforms them into disciplined, focused, powerful individuals. It doesn't. If you're undisciplined now, you'll be undisciplined at 25. If you're lazy now, you'll be lazy at 30. If you blame others now, you'll still be blaming others decades from today. Time doesn't change you, choices do. And the choice to take responsibility is the first real step toward a strong life. The truth is simple. You can't rely on anyone to save you because nobody else is living your life. Nobody else feels your fears. Nobody else faces your insecurities. Nobody else carries your regrets. Nobody else dreams your dreams. So why would anyone else fight your battles? This is your story, your path, your responsibility. You become powerful the moment you admit that everything in your life is your responsibility, even the things that weren't your fault. That's the mindset that creates unstoppable people. They don't wait for rescue. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't wait for someone to believe in them. They take ownership and move forward anyway. Stop waiting for someone to show you the way. Stop waiting for someone to push you. Stop waiting for life to get easier. Stop waiting for permission. Nobody is coming to save you. But that's the best news you'll ever hear, because it means you have everything you need to save yourself. If you've made it this far, then you already know the truth most people spend their whole lives avoiding. You've heard the reality behind comfort, discipline, the lies of your mind, the purpose of pain, and the responsibility of owning your life. These aren't just lessons, they're warnings. Because the world will crush the unprepared and it will reward the ones who build themselves into something unstoppable, everything you want in life starts with a decision, not a wish, not a plan you talk about. Not a dream you hope magically appears, a decision, a commitment, a promise to yourself that you will not live the same weak, distracted, comfortable life everyone else settles for. Comfort is going to try to pull you back. Discipline will demand more from you than you think you can give. Your mind will constantly whisper that you're not enough. Pain will test you again and again, and every time you fall, you will be reminded that nobody is coming to lift you back up. But that's exactly why you'll rise, because now you know what most teenagers never learn. The obstacles were never meant to stop you. They were meant to build you. They were meant to shape you into someone who can carry the weight of the life you're dreaming about. Every great life, every strong individual, every warrior, every leader was built from the same raw materials you have right now: discomfort, discipline, mental battles, pain, responsibility. The difference between them and the people who never make it is simple. They chose to face those things instead of running from them. So now it's on you. Who are you going to be? The teenager who talks about goals? Or the one who executes, the one who gets crushed by challenges? Or the one who becomes stronger because of them, the one who waits for motivation? Or the one who shows up no matter what, the one who hides behind excuses? Or the one who owns every part of their life? Your future isn't built someday, it's built today, right now, in the decisions you make when nobody is watching, in the habits you choose when it's not easy, in the moments you push yourself when your mind tells you to quit. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be naturally gifted. You don't need to be lucky. You just need to be willing to wage war against your weaknesses. If you want a powerful life, you must earn it. If you want a strong mind, you must train it. If you want a future you can be proud of, you must build it with your own hands. This is your wake-up call. Your turning point, your line in the sand. Stop waiting, stop doubting, stop hiding, stand up, start moving, start fighting for the life you want, because your future isn't given, it's forged, and from this moment on, it's time to forge yours.